Hey everyone, Josh Howard here, and today I'm going to show you how to add an NFT search engine to your thirdweb project, as well as add some OpenAI features to enhance that search. And so let's go ahead and dive in. So we're going to start by opening up a couple things. First, we're going to open up a terminal in our Visual Studio Code, and then we're going to head over to docs.locatia.app. And this is the reference or guide that I'm going to be using as I build this. We are going to be using the NFTSearcher tool that I've developed to add a search engine to a thirdweb project, as well as enhance it with some OpenAI output. This document page shows a little bit more detail on how this works, and it also kind of provides the foundation for why we're doing the things we're doing. Initially, it searches to see whether or not the contract is compatible with thirdweb's infrastructure, and if not, then it falls back to databases that I've indexed with Locatia. And then the other thing we want to go ahead and open is the package to NFTSearcher. Because within this README here, we have the primary instructions for our initial setup of our Next.js site. If you don't see your collection, or if it's not in the directory, you can request that the NFTs be indexed. Or if they are compatible with thirdweb, you can just head over to the GitHub repository and open up an issue to add your collection to the directory. And so to get started, we're going to go ahead and scroll down here to step 1. And we're going to start with the thirdweb template for their Next.js TypeScript starter. We'll go back over to our terminal. I'm going to cd into my GitHub folder here and then paste that into the terminal. And this will take a second. And I'm going to go ahead and just name this Searcher. All right, now we're done. I'm going to cd into Searcher and then open this up. And you'll see that we have our pages, our public files here, our node modules. And then we're going to go ahead and look at the package here, open up a new terminal. And NFTSearcher has a few peer dependencies. One is the thirdweb React package, and then React and React DOM. And so we want to actually update these and install our OpenAI package as well, just in preparation, as well as a Next.js progress bar package. And so you can go over here to step 2 and just copy this, just make it a lot simpler on ourselves. And oops. And then add those packages. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add NFTSearcher. So you can go over to here, you can copy it or type it in. So now we're set up with our packages. So let's go ahead and head back to the configuration setup here. So there's a few things that we're going to have to do here for the Next.js template. One of those is edit our configuration file, and this is important because we're going to be using, NFTSearcher uses a SQLite database, and so it's actually pulling from the repository, loading the SQLite database instant within the browser on the client side. So then when the client or the user is making a query, it's directly querying within the browser. And so we actually need to add this loader file into the public folder. So we're going to name it DB. This is important because that is written into the way that the API works. So in our public folder here, we're going to create a DB folder. And then we need to download this package. So we can go here and then click on the repository and download it. So I've downloaded it before, but I just did it again so that way you all can see it. And then we're going to place that file into our folder here. And so I'm going to go over to here, go to my downloads, drag and drop that in, and we're all set there. The last thing we need to do is create a typings folder here. typings. There we go. And then we'll just call it NFTSearcher TS. And then we're going to, here, I'm just going to copy it. Then we're going to declare the module NFTSearcher. All right. So now we are set up with the basic configuration elements here. The next thing I'm going to do is add my .env.local. So there are two API keys that you're going to need here. One, you're going to need the thirdweb API key, so you can grab this from your thirdweb dashboard. And then we're going to also have an OpenAI API key. So this will be used later for when we add the OpenAI enhancement to the output. So I'm just going to put both of those in the example. I removed the template just because that's the way I had written it in the document page. So I'm just updating here in the various locations. So the next thing, let's go ahead and just start this up and see what we get. Perfect. So this is straight from the template here. If you click Connect Wallet, and there's these Connect Wallet options, and then it leads to these various third web elements here. And so let's go ahead and delete all this actually, and clear that out. And save it. Cool. So now we have a blank page. Next thing we want to do here is update our app file here. And we need to add a few things here to the app file. One, I just like the Next.js progress bar, so we're going to go ahead and import that into here. And then there's a few packages that we're going to add here for the third web setup. I'm just going to copy and paste these in. Here we go. Get rid of paper wallet here. So these are some of the wallet options. ThirdWeb actually just released a new embed wallet option, which I haven't played with yet, but I'm excited to. But we'll just leave it like this for now. And if you want to add the embed option later, you can. The other thing, NFTSearcher supports 4 different chains right now: Ethereum, Polygon, and Phantom, and Avalanche. And so we're going to go ahead and put those in. That'll be important just to be able to pass to the provider here that those are supported chains. And so, so we're going to pass both our supported chains and our supported wallets to the provider here. And so I'm just going to copy and paste those in here. So we have our supported chains, Ethereum, Polygon, Phantom, Avalanche. Our supported wallets here: MetaMask, a local wallet, Coinbase Wallet, and Wallet Connect. I like using Wallet Connect, especially for progressive web app development. It creates a nice user flow, although now with the connection through email, it might be just simpler to do that, especially with the new ThirdWeb wallet connection. And then I'm adding the Next.js progress bar here. So I think we're pretty well set up here. Let me just look through this real quick, make sure I have everything I wanted in here to start with. I think we are good here. And so then the next thing here we're going to do is we're going to update our index page. And one of the things that we're going to create is actually a dynamic import. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up for what we're about to do. So we're going to dynamically import what's returned from the search bar. So let's go ahead and create a new folder and call it components. And we're going to put our search bar component inside a folder here called NFTSearcher. And then we're going to add two files to this. The first file we're going to add is a search bar TSX file. And then we'll add our search bar module CSS. So we'll have our search bar here and then our CSS, our styling there. So let's go ahead and head back over to the document site here. And you can see I have a lot of these things written in here as well already. But we're going to go ahead and use the information here. But we're going to pare this down a little bit because we're not going to use all the features in this TXS file. So what you can do, you can go to the docs and then copy that and then paste it here. And then we're going to simplify this a little bit and remove some features here. We'll get rid of this. And then we'll get these things here. This, yeah. What am I missing? We don't need that. All right. And then don't need this. And then we are going to wait on this. So I'm just going to comment that out. And then let's go ahead and get rid of this stuff here. And let's get rid of this stuff. What are we missing here? Let's just get rid of the AI analysis because we don't need that either. All right. So we copied and pasted from the terminal here, or from the docs here, and so I'm going to go through each of the things we have in here. So first, we've imported the NFTSearcher component from NFTSearcher from the package. From React, we're pulling in useState, useEffect, and useCallback. The useCallback is key for NFTSearcher, just so that way we don't cause infinite calling of NFTs. So it'll just call it once. And then we're going to pull in our styles from the search bar module CSS file. And then we'll use the next images. And then we're going to use chain and use connect wallet. So the reason why we're going to use the use chain function from the thirdweb package is we want to pass whatever network that we're connected to to the NFTSearcher component. So here you'll see in the component that we placed here, we have active network. And so this is where the network is passed. There's also a few other elements that you can add here. Most of these are what I have here are the bare minimum, but there is a theme option where you can pass either dark or light mode. This is critical to have the on NFTs fetched, so we need a way to handle the NFTs that are searched within the component itself. The limit is how many tokens are going to be returned. I suggest a maximum here of 100, and the reason for that is the thirdweb infrastructure maximum allowable amount is 100. Now, if you're just pulling from a location database, you can actually retrieve more than 100. But if you're planning on using this for multiple collections or multiple types of collections, then I suggest set the maximum to 100. If they're super high resolution files, maybe set it to something like 10, 10 for high res images, just because those NFTs will take a lot longer to load. Then our start is starting token, our where parameter, and then our select parameter are our SQL query options. And then here down below, I just created a simple NFT console element, which will then take the fetched NFTs, map those into sort of like a JSON file format. And so we're going to go back back to the documents here, and we're going to scroll down to the search bar module CSS, and we're going to copy that over into here. And then that way we automatically have everything we need to render onto the page. The other thing I forgot to mention are these constants up here. So I did mention the network and the chain, but we're also looking at our fetched NFTs. And then we have this loading element and then the dark mode. So there is a button in which we're going to be able to toggle between dark and light mode as well. And so that is located right here. So when we click this button, we're going to toggle the search bar theme. So you can see which version you like better. The other thing I want to point out is if you look at the documents here or on the README of the NPM package, you can see that you can actually provide all your own styling and classes to the search bar. So it is fully customizable. You can modify this almost however you want. And so I'd encourage you to play around with that if you want it to better match the color palette of your website. And so let's go ahead and save our work here and then check out what we have so far. And we have nothing. All right, so I think I need to adjust the styling here. Oh, you know what? I know why we have nothing. It's because I have not added anything into the homepage yet. So let's go ahead and import our components. So again, we're gonna import this dynamically. I already knew what I wanted to do. And so now we have this component here that we're gonna bring in. And so let's go ahead and put this in here. And then let's load this. There we go. So now we can toggle the search bar theme. And you can see this is the dark theme, that's the light theme. The default, if nothing is passed, will be the light theme. The other thing is the icon here changes based on the network that is passed to the search bar. So like for example, if we go back over here, right now I have it set to Ethereum, but let's say we want Avalanche. We can do that and then reload this. So reload this. And it is not. Did I spell that right? There we go. Spelled it wrong. All right, so now you can see we have the AVAX icon, and you'll notice here there are some suggestions that pop up. So these are suggestions that are built into the directory. And so if you click on either of these, like for example, the Doodleverse, it will search that contract and then return the NFTs associated with that contract here. So we have all the given elements from the metadata of each of those NFTs. So I'm going to switch this back to network, and then it should. We got this. And then, yeah. Okay. Now we are on Ethereum. Okay. So let's go ahead and leave it there. And then the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to add the Connect Wallet button back in. And the reason why I want to do that is just so that way we have the ability to switch the networks by connecting to a certain network. And so I'm going to go ahead and add another component in here, Connect Wallet. And then I want to make sure I still have it up there. Perfect. And then let's go over to our page. Let's go. All right, I had to pause for a second and add a wallet to this machine. So now, if I connect to my wallet, so now I should be able to switch to one of the 4 networks that I had set up. And then I'm going to approve this. And then now you'll notice the icon quickly switch over. I believe I only have, one collection here. So there is the collection. So then I'm going to go ahead and switch to Polygon if we want. And then switch network. And then you'll notice it switches over here. And then we can search one of these collections within the Polygon network. And so sometimes it takes a second as it's switching over, it's pulling the new icons. So we can grab this simply 256 and then it loads the collection here. Sometimes you'll notice the first one shows up as not returned. So let me actually show you an example of that one. So let's go back over to here, switch networks, and then hexagonal 0 here. And you'll notice, so here it shows 0. So this is an example of a contract that is compatible with the thirdweb infrastructure. But when I created this a while back, I created it to where, oh, this one just totally messed up right now. Let's try that again. I might have to restart the page. I think it's still searching on, it's still searching on Polygon. Let's go ahead and restart that. Just a general problem there. I don't know why that's doing that right now, but I guess that happens during demos here, so I'll have to look into that. But typically, it would only show this first one as failing to load, and then the rest would load just fine. Oh, there it goes. Just took a second. All right, so here we go. So now we have this where it is, failed to load, like I mentioned earlier, and then here we have the first one, and the reason is when I wrote this contract, and I had done it such that the first token started at 1 instead of 0. But it is compatible with the infrastructure like I was mentioning earlier. And so let's go ahead and go back to Visual Studio Code here. Quit that. And then we're going to add some of the styling into this page just so it's a little bit makes a little bit more sense here. So if you go over to Zero Beings, and then you can go over to the NFTSearcher template here. And this is actually a much quicker way to get started. This package works immediately right out the gate with no configuration. So you can even start with this package instead, modify it according to your needs, and then move from there. And then you can see a demo of this as well there. And so, all right, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to go back over to our home page here, and we're going to update our styling here. So let's get rid of that, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap the NFTSearcher with a container here. Container, and then we're going to this one. It's actually not container, but header BG, and then we'll add that, and then around the wallet I have some other styling. It's just called wallet. So let's go ahead and head over to our page and reload it. There we go. All right, so now things are a little bit cleaner looking here. We have our toggle button up here, our console here, and then now our wallet is up top here. So, and then as you can recall, we can switch between the networks there, our console's there. So now we have a nice clean setup for your project. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add the OpenAI element to this. And so, like I mentioned before, you're going to have the 2 API keys. So I'm actually going to pause the video real quick and add in my OpenAI key. Okay, so I've added my variables, and I think we're good to go here to begin adding in the OpenAI elements to our project. So one of the first things we need to do here is we need to create an API folder. So in order to do that, you create a folder under your public folder, and this is in the Next.js documentation. And so then I'm going to create a file called OpenAI.ts, and so this is the typical way that you would set up any API for a Next.js application, and then obviously in our case we're doing it specifically for OpenAI. I'm going to go back over to the documents here, and then scroll down. I'm going to go ahead and copy this from step 11 in the documents into here, and then we'll walk through this. So we are importing the OpenAI package here, and then I'm passing our OpenAI key, or my OpenAI key. So this will be whatever you set in your env.local file. And then I'll be using this model. and then I'm going to ask it to provide it in the JSON object format. Then I'm giving the system this role. I'm telling it it's a knowledgeable assistant about NFT collections and provides outputs in JSON format. And then I'm asking it to provide a summary about the NFT collection with the token of this name, with this description, and an overview of the collection. And so what this is doing is taking the information from, what will be the first token, passing it to the API here, and then it'll return this data response in which we will then render that in a new console. And so here we have the error options, and these are straight from the OpenAI documentation. Nothing here is specially designed. So all of this is coming from the docs, where you can really change your output is here. And so this is something that you can play with a lot, and to hone in on what you want your response to look like. And so we're going to go back to our search bar. And if you recall, we had commented out this. So we actually want this back in, right? And then, and so then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the fetched NFTs that were being displayed, and then we're going to pass token number 1. And the reason why I'm passing token number 1 is sometimes, like I said, some of the contracts start at 1, some of them start at 0. It is probably really rare that a contract would start at 2. So I just went ahead and decided that all contracts would feed token 1 to the OpenAI API key. To the API. And then we need a few other elements here. So if we go back to the doc site, we have these 2 components here, or 1 component and then the CSS for that component. And this is the info component. So what this is doing is taking the data and then rendering it into a readable format here. So go ahead and copy this, and then we're going to copy the same folder structure of NFT info. We're going to go over to our components, create a new folder called NFT info, and then we're going to create a new file called NFT info.tsx, and then we're going to paste this into here. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and add the CSS file, info.module.css. All right. And so we're going to go down to here, and it's a pretty small file, and we're going to copy and paste this into there. So now we have our info options, and then we need to render that here on the page. So we have our NFT console, but we also want our info there. So let's go ahead and go to the search bar component, I believe. And we're going to copy this AI console portion here. Sorry, that's too much. So here we go. I'm going to copy the AI console portion there. Paste that into here. And then you'll see we haven't defined the NFT info, so we're going to go ahead and import that from our components. And then should be able to render all of that. Awesome. So now we have our NFT console, our OpenAI stuff here, and then let's go ahead and search my original collection. See how this works. So it's rendering properly still. That's good. Those are normal problems. I don't know why. Okay, I paused the video because I couldn't figure out what was going on, and then I realized just now that I accidentally did this wrong. This should actually be under the Pages folder. So I'm going to move there. It shouldn't be under the public folder. That is my bad. So this should work now. So let's see here. I'm going to close this out and reload this. In theory, we should not see the same error. Yay! All right. I just misplaced that. So your API folder, let's review. Your API folder should be under Pages, not Public. That was my mistake. So this is the appropriate way to set it up in Next.js. So Pages, API, paste in your OpenAI TypeScript file, and then you'll be able to generate these additional insights about whichever collection is searched. Again, you can really further develop this prompt here to provide all sorts of different information. All right, so that's it for this video. We went over how to add the NFTSearcher search bar component, how we can render collections from different networks, and then fetch the NFT metadata, and then also enhance our response with OpenAI generated insights. This is a great start for any project wanting to add a search engine for NFT collections. Thank you, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.